Are you the kind of person who doesn't really like going out? Like when it's Saturday, you'd rather stay home, be by yourself, and sometimes wonder why that feels so different from everyone else? Most people assume people like this are flaky or antisocial, but that assumption misses something important, because more often than not, they're not avoiding people. They're protecting their energy, and if the idea of a quiet night at home feels more exciting than any plan outside, this isn't a coincidence. This video is about you. Today we're unpacking the psychology of people who love staying home. The type society casually labels as boring, but psychology understands in a very different way. Here's the foundation. Some people gain energy from stimulation, noise, movement, conversations, crowds. Being around others charges them up. Others lose energy from the exact same things. Even enjoyable social moments slowly drain them, not because they're bad at socializing, not because they don't care, but because their nervous system processes stimulation more deeply. For them, home isn't avoidance, it's recovery. Psychologists refer to this as optimal arousal theory. Everyone has a different baseline for how much stimulation they need to feel balanced. Some people feel best when life is loud, others feel best when life is quiet. This isn't fear. It isn't laziness. It's wiring. But introversion alone doesn't explain everything. For many people, staying home provides something the outside world rarely offers: control. Out there, everything is unpredictable. Sudden plans, forced conversations, background noise you can't escape. The pressure to perform interest, enthusiasm, an act that never really turns off. At home, none of that exists. You don't have to put on an act. You can be fully yourself. For people who are highly sensitive or prone to anxiety, that control isn't indulgent, it's regulation. And here's what often gets overlooked. People who enjoy solitude aren't doing less, they're doing something different. Research consistently links comfort with solitude to creativity, introspection, and deeper problem solving. The mind doesn't always do its best work in busy rooms. Some of the most meaningful thoughts happen quietly, late at night, alone, when there's finally enough space to hear yourself think. But culturally, we're taught the opposite. Being out is success. Being seen is fulfillment. Staying in is framed as missing out. So if your ideal night involves familiar walls, warm food, and no expectations, it can feel like you're doing life wrong. But that discomfort often comes from comparison, not truth. For some people, staying home isn't retreat, it's alignment. Still, there's an important distinction that can't be ignored. Not everyone stays home for peaceful reasons. Sometimes it's social anxiety tightening its grip. Sometimes it's old experiences teaching the body that the world isn't safe. Sometimes it's depression quietly asking, why bother? In those cases, home becomes complicated. A shelter, but also a boundary you're afraid to cross. So the question isn't just, do you stay home? It's why. Does staying in restore you, or does leaving feel unbearable? One is nourishment, the other is concealment. But for those who genuinely thrive at home, they aren't missing life. They're living it more quietly. They notice details others rush past. Routines. Rituals? The same seat every morning. The way evening light settles into a room. Psychologists call this low stimulation preference. These people don't need constant novelty. Their inner world already has enough texture. So if you decline invitations without guilt, if solitude doesn't scare you, if your happiest weekends are quiet and unremarkable, you're not broken. You're oriented toward depth instead of noise, toward presence instead of performance. Not everyone is meant to live loudly, and that's okay.